and thank you all for dialing in. And I'm really delighted to have on the call Riad Mishlawi, CEO of Hikma. Now, the plan is the call will take about 45 minutes. And again, thank you all for sending in some great questions. Riad, again, thank you for your time and great to see you. Now, stepping back, you've been a busy man since you've become CEO 9 months ago. There is now a head of injectables. You've hired a new head of generics. And you've also talked about focusing on investing in the right areas. If it's okay, could you please elaborate on this and other changes, hires you've made?
Well, first, I have to thank you very much for facilitating this call, and thank you for everybody for joining. Yes, it has been actually a busy 8 months, jumping from one place to another, trying to understand, talk to as many of my team members as possible, get to know the business. Before, as you know, I was very much in the injectable business, and I knew the injectable business well. I knew the rest of the company, but not as well as I needed to be as a CEO. So I spent my time getting to know the team, getting to know the business, looking at the strengths and the weaknesses that we have. And with that, I made some decisions of where we need to invest more, what kind of resources we need, where our weaknesses are. And as you saw, in terms of where the concentration was, it was obvious that we need to do better with our R&D. We need to increase our portfolio, to invest in differentiated products, find a way to do better output in our R&D and investment in R&D. And that led us to 2 good candidates that are big R&D experienced people. As you know, Bill Larkins is a PhD in chemistry. He's been around for quite some time, and his focus has been in R&D for quite some time of his career. He has 30 years of experience, and he led a business that we had already bought from him a couple of years ago. And then Hafran also came to us from Teva. Her last stop was in Alvotech. Before that, she was global head of R&D in Teva, a big organization with big budget, and had a lot of exposure to all different areas of technologies and R&D. So definitely the focus is how to grow this area and how to invest in this area and how to create a future with better products and better portfolio.
Thank you very much, Riad. And before we sort of delve into the 3 main areas, I think something that's sort of somewhat maybe not appreciated as much by the market is you've touched on some of the strategy there, but how are you looking at the business internal capabilities to deliver the plan you want to deliver with more strategic focus and leveraging those capabilities across the 3 businesses and what they look like?
Yes, I think if you look at our track record, we've had some great track record. Growth has been consistent. Our plants are delivering efficient, big efficiencies and good products. Our R&D has been somehow not as strong as it could be, but also we've been, especially in MENA and in injectables, introducing a lot of different products across all geographies that we've had. And we've been investing in our plants. If you look at the injectables, for example, we've been spending around between 20 to 30 million a year in expanding our plants, getting new technologies there. As a whole, in the company also has been spending around $150 million a year in capital expenditure and improving our plants, adding more and more technologies. So in terms of continuing to do this, I think I have no worry that this one will continue. I think the philosophy there is continue to do what we always have done right, just to do it better and do it faster, and getting the right resources to actually enhance our output. Get into the hard to make products, into the challenging technologies. And not only settle for the basic generic portfolio that we've had before. So basically, what we're trying to say is, I think our strategy is simple: is just continue to do what we're doing, just do it better, basically.
That's very clear, Riad. Thank you very much for that. So let's look at injectables, and it would be good to hear a bit more about the business which you've successfully built up over the recent years and key drivers. And I guess the obvious question is, what are the key priorities for new management of that division?
Yeah, this division has a lot of I think the opportunities to grow in this division and to sustain very high margins is going to be the priority. This business has been performing for the past 10 years, giving margins over 35%, much more than anybody else in that market. Delivering around 15 to 20 new products every year. Very active in expanding capacity, getting into new technologies. In the last few years, we spent a lot in adding more lyophilization, expanding our CMO business, getting into harder to make products like oil products, emulsions, prefilled syringes. We've done a lot of differentiation in terms of adding technologies to this business. This business also is built on good engineering, and that's what really is the secret of high margins. When you have efficient plants, when you have good culture, people are well trained. The leaders of this business has been around for quite some time, and they were instrumental in building that business. So you can feel some kind of ownership there. They're all owners to this business, and I think altogether it creates a very strong, with a great foundation business. Our priority is to continue doing this the same. There is a limit to how much can you squeeze out of this engine without having to add some new creativity in it. So we are looking at new technologies. We're looking at, we get into technologies that are not easy to make or very expensive to invest in, and create some barriers to entry. So we were looking at, for example, aseptic bag filling, which is very hard technology, very rare to see. Some products requires that. We're looking at adding the microspheres, adding the suspensions and all of this, and we're very active in adding this technologies to this unit. So I think that the goal of this unit is to really continue doing what they're doing, but just add to it the differentiation, add to it more barriers, products with high barriers of entry, so we can keep our margins, keep introducing to the market interesting products.
Thank you very much, Riad. And if we just sort of look at geographically within this, if I look firstly in the US, and I know you've sort of touched on some of it, but the opportunities to improve that sort of the US mix and growth, and from where we are now, and driving that business going forward.
Yeah, for the injectables, the US is an interesting market. As you all know, we are pretty large in volume, at least in the US. We're second or the third, depending on the time of the year. We change places with Fresenius. But if you look at the top 3 providers of injectable products in the United States, they account for about 60% of the business of the whole market in the US. This is the largest market we're talking about, and they contribute to 60% of this market. So it's a pretty big responsibility, and I think the whole market depends on those companies continue to be healthy and continue providing the products that we have. We think that the US market is a market that we can grow in. I think the US market really is looking for solutions for the shortages that continually troubling the markets, troubling all the institutions, the hospitals, and all this. And I think we feel that we can provide for our customers and for our patients and all the hospitals out there more creative products and more solutions to these problems. And case in point, we did go into compounding. We think that compounding business is complementary to what we do. I think the compounding business is something that all the hospitals are looking for, a reliable supplier of product with quality. We came in saying that we are going to invest in this business. We are going to take what we do. We have, as you all know, so we have good quality record when it comes to the regulatory agencies in all over the world, especially with the FDA. So what we decided is to go into the compounding business, going with exactly what we do in our core business, just on a smaller scale. So we can introduce automation in filling compounding products. We can continue respecting all the quality procedures and the compliance, and give our clients and patients what they exactly need. But there are a lot more that we're looking at of how to enhance this business. But I think in the US and in other areas in the world, but especially in the US, I think we have an opportunity to grow this business. And we're doing and investing a lot in it to actually do exactly that.
Thank you very much, Riad. Actually, just while we're on the compounding, we'll come back to Europe. Just sort of follow on, what do you think that business can look like over the next 3 to 5 years? And somebody did ask me earlier, was there any risks of that this business cannot scale? But I think you've answered that question.
Europe, the second, I think the second greenfield business factory that we had built outside of Jordan was in Europe, so it was in Portugal. So for Europe, we had looked at it as a business that we are very native in. We created Portugal was a big business, but when it comes to compounding, I think in Europe, compounding is very, very much different than how compounding happens in the US. It's more, maybe it's more for oncology. It's more for specialty products. It's not the same as how the US is used. So the US compounding in the US is more about avoiding manipulation at the hospital, at the floor of the hospital. So they need something that is ready to inject, ready to use. While in Europe, the compounding is more about creating the combination of drugs that are customized for a certain patient. So it's a little bit different. I don't think we have the interest in getting into the compounding in Europe. I think it's a much more less synergetic than what we see in the US. So I think we're staying the compounding more about how it's being dealt with in the US rather than in Europe.
Thank you very much, Riad. I mean, Europe it's a difficult market for pharma companies, but Hikma obviously are doing very well there. And we're also starting to see shortages in the European market, which I assume is helping growth there. But I mean, Riad, how exciting could Europe be from a growth point of view over the medium term for Hikma?
Yes, Europe is a difficult market, and this is why it wasn't really our top priority when we have when we have capacities, and we started. As I was saying before, and we started in Europe, but our capacity was mainly dedicated to the US and to the MENA markets, because those are much more lucrative and easier for us to navigate in than the European market. As we built more capacity, as we were able to have enough capacity to also service Europe, then we decided now to build out Europe. So in the last few years, we've been going and building our greenfield offices and distribution in all of the big five European countries, in Italy, Germany, UK, France, and Spain. So I think we now have the capacity and we have the portfolio to service all these countries, and we've been doing this successfully. I think the European countries welcomed us very with open arms, because they really needed to have a supplier, a new supplier in the European market, exactly because of what you had said. Shortages are becoming to appear more and more in Europe. And they wanted more and more big suppliers to be approved and very active in those countries. So we're doing well. We're growing very, very well. And I think as we grow in capacities, I think the biggest beneficiary out of all of our territories is going to be European.
That's correct. Thank you, Riad. Thank you very much for that. And MENA, I mean, that's accelerated now to low double-digit growth. I mean, can I ask sort of what's driving this, and I guess how sustainable is it?
We're talking about injectables or all of MENA?
Sorry, I beg your pardon, injectables.
Injectables. Yeah, as you know, biosimilars in MENA is big for us. We have an agreement with Celltrion in Korea to take all the products under license and distribute them in MENA. And we had done very well doing so. So we have about 6 to 7 products from them right now, and we keep introducing them in all different countries. And you know that MENA is about 19 different countries, so different regulatory systems, different way of distribution, different sales techniques, and so forth. But we had been doing very well in terms of not only the biosimilars, but also some of the differentiated products that we have under license and our native, generic branded products that we have in MENA. We've been growing at a very healthy rate, and we can see that the future is also going to be even better because we had built now new facilities in both Algeria and Morocco. And we're breaking ground for a big facility, also injectable facility in Saudi Arabia. Localization in MENA is very important, and that's why we decided that the only way to grow to the size that we want to grow in MENA is to have also facilities in MENA. So and those facilities will house a lot of different technologies, including fill and finish for biosimilar products. That's our plan, and we're almost there in terms of the construction. So we should be introducing putting those plants online very soon.
Super, very exciting there. I've got just a question of coming in contract manufacturing. I mean, it's clearly an important area of the overall business. If it's okay, Riad, what is the outlook for this? How do you see the strategic opportunities here, i.e. the ability to take a greater share of manufacturing from your contract partners?
Yeah, contract manufacturing has been something that it has been in our injectable business in particular for quite some time. But the way we approached it was more of an opportunistic business. So when you build a plant, it takes some time before you get your products approved at the plant, before you fill that plant. During that time, it would be good for you to kind of get some contract manufacturing in it to fill the plant, to get some full utilization for it. Of course, it will definitely help you in terms of costing. But we've gotten very good at it. As you know, we got remdesivir in a matter of weeks transferred to our facilities, and we've got biosimilars in our facilities that we're making. So we have a lot of good contract manufacturing possibilities and prospects. However, our capacity having to increase this exponentially is limited. So we are thinking about now that we're building new capacity, and as I told you, we have new capacities being built all over the world, including Portugal. Big projects are going on. I think we're looking at contract manufacturing as another important stream of revenue. I think we know how to do it well. We have the right customers. I think we have the quality record to attract such customers. And I think we have the trust of a lot of companies to give us their product and make us. A lot of the big companies don't like the liabilities that comes with manufacturing, and they would like to trust somebody else to do their work for them. And I think we come as a good partner to do so. But first, we have to build our capacity, and today we're doing exactly that.
And just one small follow on there. Somebody just asked as regards to, would that also, from a monitoring point of view, GLP, a potential opportunity there?
Yes, GLP is an opportunity, but today we are doing GLP. As you know, there are a lot of technologies that we can do in-house, and we do about more than 94% of our products are made in-house, which is a big advantage because it gives us flexibility, it gives us control of cost. But there are certain technologies we can't do in-house. And GLP, we started partnering with the other partners with manufacturing that. So today it's in our portfolio, something that we will introduce soon, hopefully, but that would be through partnership.
Riad, I've got one last question that's just come in on injectables, and the question was, Hikma's excellent prior acquisitions in injectables, turning around distressed assets like Bedford, Multisource, Intelligent. Why have these been a success for Hikma when prior owners struggled?
It's a good question. I mean, I can contribute it to many. Each one has a different case. So in terms of the Multisource that we did in Cherry Hill in 2010, it belonged to a big company, Baxter. Baxter at the time had this business, and this business was a small business, so it wasn't really getting the attention that it needed. And at that time, this business, the Baxter, if you remember the problem with heparin that happened, and before that, propofol. So at that time, Baxter really didn't like that business very much. It was a troublesome business. Didn't get to give him that much money. It was only bringing in $200+ million with a lot of trouble, carrying on. I think they had about 60, 70 different products. As a big size company as Baxter with billions of dollars in revenue, this is a small piece for them, and it gave them headaches, especially when it came to heparin. It was a big headache for them. As you know, 114 people died at the time. Big investigations happened. So they really decided to, they just, don't want this. It was too trouble, they don't know how to deal with it. Took a lot of attention from the big, fish that they were going after. So basically, we, on the other hand, were a smaller company, a lot more focused. We knew exactly the details of what we need to do, a lot more efficient. So we were able to actually turn it around and do a lot with it. I remember the first year we had increased the production by 30% and decreased cost by something to the same number. And really that put us on the map when we came to the US at the time, during 2010, 2011 timeframe, the total sales of injectables in the US was less than 30 million. And then overnight, we were 300 million. So it put us on the map. We had controlled substances, and we had challenging and of course there was some luck. At the time, some companies got in trouble, so there were some shortages, and we were able to supply the market. Bedford, on the other hand, was a reaction to what happened. What happened now. Now we became 2014. That would be. We became important in the injectable business, but we did not have the R&D or the portfolio to feed that big mouth that we had created. And Bedford offered us 114 different products, although all of them were in trouble. It was a consent decree. They would have to be transferred to our facilities, revalidated. There was a lot of work that needed to be done. But we knew that we could not survive if we did not do that. And we would not have the chance to get 114 products all at once. So we did. And really the focus was on execution. We all knew that it would be it could fail miserably, or it could succeed marvelously if we succeed in the execution. And I think the team had done very, very good job in designing how we are going to go about it. We transferred around 30 products a year into our facilities. We took all the equipment from Bedford, transferred, I remember, around 185 different containers to our different facilities, and built up our capacities. At the end, we had a success story, and the injectables benefited a lot from all those products. And then right now we have one of the largest portfolio, and we have an R&D center that is a good size in Bedford still until today. So, I think, the size of the company, the focus, the team knew their job well. The management believed in the injectable team, so they motivated them well. So all the things had gone well, and I think at the end, that's what made the injectable business. We took the chances. We always tell everybody, you will never win the lottery if you don't go and buy the ticket. So and that's what we did. I think we went after it, and it worked out well.
Super answer, and thanks very much, Riad. Well, we'll move on to generics now, and I mean that had a tough year in 22. But you still made $100 million of EBIT, and last year was exceptional, doing $180 million. As you mentioned earlier in the call, Hafren has joined as head of generics. I mean, 25 years of industry experience, particularly in R&D, to drive the next phase of growth. I guess the question is, what are the key priorities in this business for Hafren and our team, and how do you see the outlook for pricing and further margin growth?
I'll start with the pricing. The pricing has been stabilizing in the last 2 years, which is very, very important in this business. And that really lays out, the potential of this business. This business has a great potential. It comes with a fantastic site in the United States, site that has a capacity of going up to 15 billion units of manufacturing. It's got good technologies, inhalation, respiratory technology. It has a high containment for high potency products. I think what we want from Hafran and the team is to extract the full potential of this business, which we believe that it exists for many reasons. For the fact that we have a lot of technologies, for the fact that we have the site is very much capable, and the size of the site is huge, and actually because we have a we are in the United States, and I think we had proven that being in the location and being able to turn on a dime when the shortages are there, and when the patients need the product is also important. Delivery is important, distribution is important, and we are right there in the center of the action. So we need to extract all that value, and I think that value starts with a business like this. It really has to start with the technical part of it. So technology is very important. It's important if you want to build a CMO business, which we are having the full intention to do that, because we have the capacity to do that, and we have the differentiated technology to do that. It is also in the United States. And the most important thing is this is a site that has a pristine record in quality. In fact, the site, for I think 5 years in a row, the FDA sends 30 or so inspectors to train in this facility. So this is a very attractive to big companies, pharma companies that are interested in contract manufacturing. So we want to extract that value. We think that we have a big chance in creating and attracting a lot of contract manufacturing customers. The second is, I think we need to utilize the site fully. Today, we're not utilizing it fully. We have probably utilization of about 60% or maybe less in some of the departments. I think we can increase that. We have a lot of dormant ANDAs that could be transferred into this through acquisitions that we've had before. We have a lot of technologies that we can add products to. So definitely it's something that we want to expand, we want to concentrate on, and I think Hafran with her technical knowledge can easily do that. And lastly, portfolio. We really need two things with portfolio. The organic portfolio that comes through R&D, which we need to really build in a much efficient way and spend some money making it happen. And the second way in BD, in assessing the right deals and making sure that we are buying and partnering with companies that can benefit this business and can create and expand our portfolio. So this is why we picked somebody with a technical background like Hafran, because most of our problematic area is technical, not in commercial. I think we've done a fantastic job in commercial. I think if we can add the technical side in adding more and more products and expanding our portfolio through R&D and BD, I think this business is going to be a fantastic business. And as you said, in the worst years that we still were able to come up with good 100 million, 120 million in EBIT. So I think in good years, the numbers was going to be much higher than that.
Very clear, Riad. And I think you've answered the next question which has come in. Do Hikma have the capability to discover another big opportunity like Xyrem, but I guess with technology, with technical capability and investment? So I don't want to answer the question for you, Riad, but
yeah, I think we think we have the right raw materials. I think it's just a matter of putting it all together. And what we were missing is the right resources and leadership. And lately we've been looking at that, and I think we've been adding the right people in, and we've been adding the right resources and the leadership in. And I think Hafran is one of the we're starting with, but we're not going to end up there. I think we have a lot to do, but it's a great start for a leader like that to lead the entire team.
Very much. Two more last questions on generics. One is question: any signs that the quality of generics has dropped in the last couple of years, which could lead to a better price environment for Hikma?
Quality in terms of compliance?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, somebody before we started the call, told me that one of our competitors just got a warning letter or does a big 483. This happened, especially it started happening right after COVID. So during COVID time, there wasn't much inspection that was, the FDA wasn't active in inspections. And after that, the FDA started becoming more and more active, more inspections happened, and of course, more warning letter comes out. And that is, in a way, we don't want the patients not to have the right drug. So I'm not going to say it's a good thing, but it is an environment where you have to be careful. You have to be always attentive and watching your quality. Otherwise, you get in trouble. And when you get in trouble, you're out of the market and it becomes an opportunity for other companies. We don't want to depend on that and make it more of our, strategy. This is something, it's an opportunity. But what I would say is being in the US, you can be able to turn on a dime when you have to change things and react to certain opportunities in the market. We've done this in the injectables very well. As you know, injectables, always there are shortages, demand shifts from one side to the other. And if you're depending on third party to make the product for you, or if your manufacturing is, 10,000 miles, it's going to be very hard for you to react. Being in the US, being in the market where you compete at, it makes it very easy. And being the one who manufactures their own product, it becomes very easy for us to capitalize on some of those opportunities. So yes, we've been doing this. This has been happening more and more. We haven't seen shortages in the orals as much as in the last couple of years, but this is happening, and nobody wants to see patients struggle because of lack of drugs. But also the businesses also need to step up when there is this opportunity to make sure that the patients don't suffer and don't end up with not having life-saving drugs that they depend on.
Thank you very much, Riad. And the very last question here is, it's actually quite a good question that came in, is made in the US a benefit for a US supplier, obviously having two facilities?
We hope so. We don't see the advantage of it from pricing point of view. We see more of a strategic point of view. We do hear the government talk a lot about that, and we hear a lot that the government wants to do something about that and maybe help the local manufacturers, but we really haven't seen anything that had materialized. But from strategic point of view, we think we're closer to our customers. We know the needs of our customers, and as I said, opportunities come around when drugs are in shortage, when FDA needs something, they pick up the phone and call us and warn us that something is going to go out of the market. Do you have raw materials? Can we do this? So definitely it can create some strategic advantage. In controlled substances, especially Schedule 2 and 3, you are not allowed to make them outside of the US. You have to make them in the US. So that gives you an advantage over overseas suppliers that it's supplied from the US. However, the cost is substantially more than your competitors. So you have to offset it by being efficient, depend on automation, continue upgrading your equipment to robotic, depending on robots, which not only makes your process efficient, but gives you better quality and repeatability in manufacturing. And we do that very well. As I told you, we spend a lot of money on capital, we spend a lot of money on upgrading our equipment. And for anybody to come and visit our facilities, they would think that the facilities were just built when they're actually 20 or 30 years old. But we keep upgrading, we keep changing, we keep investing in those equipment, because this is the advantage that we have. We have the advantage of less people, because people are definitely much more than in low-cost countries. But with automation, I think we can decrease that this differential there.
Thank you, Riad. And we're just going to move on to the branded, and that had an excellent year where, operating margins went from low 20s to 24%. I guess the question is this the new base? Is it sustainable? And how do you think of profitability and growth prospects going forward?
Is it sustainable? I hope it is. I mean, we're doing everything that we can to make it sustainable. Is it the base? I hope so. I think we've been investing in the MENA business for quite some time, and I think now we're seeing the result of all of that. We've been building plants. We've been investing in products and licensing. We have a lot of new products, innovative products. We're expanding and changing our business from changing from a pharma company that provides medicine to pharma company that provides solutions, more of a health solutions rather than just medicine. Health provider. I think we're going into diagnostics. We're going into helping the hospitals providing hospitals for solutions. So we're expanding our presence. We are in all of MENA countries. We have 20 plants in MENA, and local manufacturing in those countries is important. We get a lot of advantages being local. Not only the advantages in pricing and in tenders, but the advantage of having a conversation with the regulatory agencies. They depend on you to bring technologies in. They learn from you. We are the first company that brought in biosimilars. We created the laboratory for biosimilars that the regulatory agency came to look at it to see what is that laboratory or what kind of equipment do you use and how do you test. So we became big standard in how this business works. And I think a lot of the countries depend on us. So that is a big advantage. Now, we know that there are things that come and go in these countries, especially politically, and for example, Sudan, we lost during the time when we increased our margins from, as you said, low from the 19-20% to the 24%. We also lost an $80 million revenue stream that is coming from Sudan, but we still managed to come up with a fantastic and healthy financial results because we tend to know how to navigate. It is our area. This is the oldest part of this company. We are everywhere, and we have a big force of commercial team of about 2,000 pharmacists. All of our commercial team out there are pharmacists. They understand the medicine well. They detail it. They talk to doctors on a daily basis. So we're entrenched in this business. It's up to us how much we can grow. And I think now we are looking at ourselves and collaborating between different divisions much better than ever. So we're learning from our experiences in regulated market like the US and Europe, and bringing it to those countries in MENA, which I think they're about 10 years behind in terms of remedies, in terms of how they go about diagnostics, in terms of the medicine, in terms of the new generation of medicine. So with that also, we're having a different way and also continually infusing our portfolio with interesting products and modern products and ways of practicing medicine. So I think we are on a good trajectory. I think we will continue with that, and I think MENA has a very good future.
That's super, Riad. And just because you touched on providing solutions and diagnostics, somebody just said, can you ask Riad the opportunity that exists in the Middle East, given the current health trends that are there?
Well, I think many of the modern diagnostic tools that are used in Europe and in the US. They tend to take a long time to come to these countries. So we are kind of like the conduit between those companies that have these diagnostic tools and between the hospitals and the practitioners in these countries. So we tend to create. We've done a lot in terms of connecting those two together, finding what the needs are, and finding where we can get those needs and connecting this. So we had a lot of BD deals that we've had in the last 2 years. Guardian. Our deal with Guardian was one of them. That's to give you an example. We've done deals in the oncology, for example, that we did very well in diagnostics also with a Japanese company. So we have a lot of different, since we are very much global, we tend to be able to find the solutions that those countries are looking for. And they come to us, and we tend to always find solutions for them. So I think there are many different ways that we collaborate, and we have been successfully been able to bring in very modern ways, modern diagnostic tools and ways, solutions for those countries and hospitals.
Thank you very much, Riad. I mean, your balance sheet is in a very good place, and as Paul tells me, you have over $1.6 billion of firepower today. The question here is, what are your thoughts around M&A opportunities, bolt-on acquisitions, and I guess additional manufacturing facilities?
Yeah, we've been very active. As you, if you follow us, you know that we had reorganized our BD department now that we have added very experienced BD personnel to that. Not only the big names that you had seen published with Hafran and Bill joining us with the R&D background, but with the BD guys that know the world well, know the companies well, know where to go, where to look at the opportunities. So we've been very active lately, and I think we will be spending this money wisely, but we have full intention to spend the money.
Thanks very much, Riad. Now, I've got sort of one last question here, because I'm cognizant of everyone's time, and particularly your time, and we've gone slightly above the 40 minutes. But the question is, it's sort of 2 or 3 people have sent it in. What do you think Hikma looks like in 5 years' time? And in brackets, could Hikma double revenue over the long term? And the second sort of question would be, Riad, what does Riad think that the market doesn't understand about Hikma?
Well, I'll start with the last one. The market doesn't understand that Hikma is very capable. I think we had been under the radar for a long time for many reasons. One, we had different names. So when we acquired companies, we really didn't change the name. We didn't change the brand. We've had, even in MENA here, we have about 6, 7 different brands. In the United States, we were under Westward Pharmaceuticals for a long time. In Europe, we were really non-existent. We've had some brand that we got from other companies. We united all these brands under one now, Hikma, and then we started becoming to be known. I think before that, we weren't really known. And now with the size that we have in the US, the competition that we are posing to a lot of the competitors that we have, I think we became known to be capable, a good, efficient, growing international company. To our competitors, we are very well known. Some people wonder, our competitors wonder why we're able to get so much margins, for example, in the injectables with a generic portfolio. And there are many reasons for that, but the main reason is the way how we operate and how we keep our plants going, and our efficient manufacturing operation. I think people are getting to know more and more of us when they see new products coming in, and now more and more in the last 2 years, we've been introducing differentiated products in both Europe and in the US. In MENA, we are very well known. And we are the second largest in MENA, after, we're talking, head to head with the big companies like, Sanofi and other big companies there. And we are number 1 and number 2 in some of those countries. So we want to be more and more to be well known, to be quality company, to be a company that they can trust. And not only for a company that is just looking for revenue and increasing revenue, but company that customers and patients can depend on. I think this is one of the biggest purpose that we have. In 5 years, look, I want to grow and double and triple and do everything I can to grow. So we have the financial means that we can do that, but we have to be smart about how to go about it. I think we've been smart, for example, in the injectable business of the acquisitions that we went after. I think we want to continue going after these type of acquisitions. There are many of them are available nowadays, so we're looking through a lot of different opportunities. A lot of the small companies nowadays, with all the interest rate being so high, they're having difficulty surviving. So it's an opportunity for us having a very healthy balance sheet to see if they are, if we can do something better like we've done before with them. So we're very actively doing this. I think we will definitely be much, much more than we are today. I'm not sure if we're going to double. We've had a meeting for all the senior management about 4 weeks ago. And our goal is, when can we get to the 10 billion? That's our goal. We are working very hard to see how can we answer this, when we can have a plan. But actually, I think our aspiration is huge, big. We are going to go after it. And I think we have the right team, we have the right plants, we have the right geographies, and the money financially to support that plan. So we think big, we dream big, but hopefully we can get there.
Riad, can I just say that was fantastic. I mean, firstly, can I just say to everyone who's dialed in, thank you. But most of all, on behalf of everyone that's dialed in, Riad, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. It was really, really fantastic. And I wish you all a great week. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you.